That title may just be the best titled rap song ever. Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to Brews and Reviews. It's Knowledge, and today I'm reviewing DJ Muggs and Rome Streetz' Death and the Magician. And I am sipping on Bitter Sisters Busy Beaver. That is a blonde lager coming in from Addison, Texas. This is in the Helles style, and this is a hell of an album. This is a 5.92 ABV, which is very precise. So let's get into Rome Streetz' precise flow on this project. Here we go. First off, I gotta announce that I'm running a contest for new and existing subscribers. I got a couple of vinyls here, so it could be winner's choice. I've got the classic Illmatic that every true hip-hop head has in their top 10. And if you're more into the underground, I got Aesop Rock's great project that he put out last year. Winner's choice on this. All you gotta do is subscribe to my channel right now and then send me a screenshot to knowledge.brews@gmail.com or a DM on Twitter at knowledge_brews. That way you're in the contest, and then I will draw a random winner in a video in April. As soon as I announce the winner, send me your address and I will get you your vinyl unless you don't respond, and then I will draw a new one. Rome Streetz is making a little noise right now, a little bit more with this album, and I gotta admit, I haven't really been checking for his solo projects, but I have enjoyed his collaborations with Conway, Ransom, and Static Selecta recently. But I had to check this one out due to Muggs' production. And just a side note, I met Cypress Hill back when I was a teenager. Here's the concert ticket that I got signed. That's Be Real's signature right there. And the only thing that I could think to say of to Be Real at the time was, hey, you know the RZA, don't you? I was a huge Wu-Tang fan, so I just started talking about the RZA, and Be Real said, yeah, he's cool. And that's pretty much the whole interaction that I had with them, but still a very defining moment in a young hip-hop head's life. 6 Cups, and speaking of Wu-Tang, this sounds like an intro that we would have got on an old Raekwon album. Just the way Rome's speaking, very conversationally, about some dark topics with some light music in the background. And he's making a point, too, talking about how everyone wears a mask now. You don't really know who they are or what they could get away with. 6 of Cups in tarot cards means being naive. So it all fits in with what he's saying, and you realize that several of these song titles, as well as the title of the album and the cover, are related to tarot cards. So they're kind of mixing in that theme throughout the entire album. Prayers Over Packages. We've got some very light drums and not too intricate of a beat, so we can focus solely on Rome, and he's good. He's got a really intricate rhyme scheme, really smooth flow, and he kicks off his rhymes making you think. He says, what gets you killed faster than too much love, trust, and truth? What's the difference between Malcolm Martin and Huey Newt? Sometimes a downfall is who he knew. Do you view the world through wise eyes, or is your mind in a hula hoop? I thought at first the title, Prayers Over Packages, was talking about something that you would send to troops overseas, or maybe somebody impacted by a natural disaster, and I was like, never mind the prayers, send me the packages. But it turns out that Rome is really just praying over his packages, that he can push them or sell them, move them with ease. Ace of Swords is another call out to tarot cards. This particular tarot card means triumph or conquest. Indeed, he sounds triumphant, talking about both his success in the drug game, but even more importantly, his success in the rap game, with a really bold comparison to not one, but 2 legendary MCs, both of which are on my wall back there. He says, I wish Big was able to slide in that truck, and Pac clapped in that caddy that was riding up. Should it be different, still I carry tradition. Turn my dirt to gold like water to wine for a Christian. The Manuscript, there's a much more intricate beat here, and I feel like the beats are getting even more intricate as we progress from song to song. There's a bit of a sing-songy hook, which feels a little out of place for Rome, but he still makes it work. And it reminds me a little bit of Bishop Nehru's singing. Definitely adequate for the chorus here. High explosive, this is a bit of a slower beat, but still trademark DJ Muggs. And I've heard a lot of this style recently, where MCs are using slowed down beats to punctuate an intricate rhyme scheme. Some of Conway's recent joints come to mind, but there is an excellent beat change for verse 2. In fact, I might venture to say that the beat on the second verse of this is the best beat on the album. But lyrically, I feel like it's a bit of a missed opportunity, because with this style of beat, it gives Rome the chance to get really introspective and say something deep. And while I still really appreciate his flow through this second verse, and there are some standout lines, he's just not getting on that other level that the beat is making you feel. Although I do want to call out the line where he says, "Fuck the game up, can't fix this blowing in the cartridge." Only real old heads will understand that one. Zig Zag Zig is by far my favorite track on the project. Super dark production from Muggs with a pitched up sample and some ominous strings. The title is on some supreme mathematics, nation of God and Earth's lyrical tip, and a good metaphor-driven verse from Rome. And I really like the contrast here between Knowledge the Pirate's deeper, gruffer delivery and Rome's much smoother, higher flow. Really, Knowledge the Pirate's verse has a little more 5% nation talk than Rome's even does. He says, "And fuck them 85ers, they don't ABC or like us." The 85% in the nations of gods and earths is referring to the ignorant masses. Stone Cold Soul. Great flow and rhyme scheme here, although I will say that the choruses do start to get a little indistinct from one another, making the whole songs indistinct. And I know this isn't really going for crazy choruses or earworms, so I don't want to knock that too much. I know we are supposed to focus on the flow and lyrics in the verses, but this same cadence on every chorus does not make the songs distinct enough from one another. The Devils Chord. Here's what I like right here, and this is what Muggs does best, some classic Muggs piano, and there's no better way to describe what Muggs does with keys than to call it the Devil's Chord, and this is actually a real thing. Apparently, there is a piano note that was banned by the Roman Catholic Church for basically being so eerie that they thought that it came from the devil, so that title may just be the best titled rap song ever. Likewise, Rome's second verse on this is one of his best lyrically. He says, "The world fucked up, we got crooked cops and fentanyl. COVID, is it real or is it fake? They trying to kill us all. Politicians got a trick system, the shit is wicked, dog. In the can going nuts, they cut their visits off. Stressed out, even the kindergarten teacher sniffing soft. On the bench, bills scattered all over the kitchen floor." Shooting at the dance hall, and where I said there was a lot of the same cadence, same sound, not too much distinctness between the tracks, this one definitely switches it up, and it's the right way to do it. It has that live dance hall vibe, as well as an old school type sound, which you used to hear a lot of retro stuff in the early 2000s, digging back to this type of early 80s type of feel, but you haven't heard a lot of that lately. He even shouts out the old school, referencing a Boogie Down Productions track, and that is KRS-One's original rap venture, for those who don't know. Wheel of Fortune, although very short, is another standout track to me. The beat is really on point, and Rome is on a storytelling tip that we haven't really heard from him, and it almost sounds like a true tale of somebody that he knows as he spits it. Horn and Halo, and if nothing else, this album has some really deep song titles. Horn, of course, is like evil or coming from the devil or a demon. Halo, of course, is good or angelic. And he's kicking a little more wisdom here. He says, "You got no say-so, you just a worker, only talk to bosses. Wise words, your best lessons come disguised as losses." Fly Obnoxious is not really a standout at all, especially as we get to this point in the album, but there is a standout line. He says, "I'm high as fuck in Ocean Prime, you eating ramen noodles. And every time I rhyme, it fuck your mind like some kind of shaman voodoo. Fuck you know about me." And I know this sample. I feel like it comes from a really ubiquitous, not like a mainstream popular, but popular to hip-hop heads track. I want to say Madlib, but I just can't quite place who's used it before. If you know it, put it in the comments because I'm curious. This song is really just a quick outro verse. This is a really good listen and it's great for right now. Put it on and you'll be vibing on the production and you'll be feeling Rome's flow and catching lines, but I don't know that it has lasting power. Rome displays a ton of potential. I love his flow, but I've heard a lot of underground cats with a very similar sound. He needs to distinguish himself both in verse and in subject matter. The subject matter is by no means diverse enough. And really good coke rappers, of course, are out there, but the ones that really make it and start getting a wider audience, like Conway and Freddie, they get a little deeper and get onto some different subjects. Conway in particular gets very introspective and gives us some insight into his personal feelings, and Freddie is just on a whole other thing with his flow and distinct voice. We aren't getting either of these things from Rome right now, but I think if he really touches into what makes him unique, then he could be a breakout star like either one of those dudes. Still, his flow and the production from Muggs are enough to make this a good listen for 2021, and I'm going to give this an 8 out of the 12 pack. Thank you for watching my review of Rome, Streetz and DJ Muggs, Death and the Magician. If you like this, go ahead and hit like now and subscribe to my channel. You can win a record. And if you didn't like this, also let me know why in the comments. I drop hip-hop and hops related content consistently. So until I see you next time, keep buzzing.